by working on various topics. One of them was cultural Wilhelm topics, which took 7 years of my life and very deep research in reality of World War II and one of the biggest Nazi war criminals who also made a big career. Mind control programming also made my interest, and I'm very delightful today, ladies and gentlemen. Marking a very place there.
Yes.
What it means is it's your program.
Yes, it's our, has something to do with the book, as you well know.
I see. Okay, I stay with Mark and Cathy and Kelly. I met Kelly today for the first time, and I really appreciate my 2 days trip to Mark's and Cathy's home. Now I met Cathy, and she had enormous, if I would not know her condition, she's a very bright girl. I mean, you know, her vocabulary and her everything is absolutely superb. I mean, I would say that her IQ is about average, at least 50%.
Yes.
I could see, because she's 16. What is her condition now, and how you describe that from your scientific point of view?
Kelly's condition has been diagnosed by a number of physicians, and I too have tested her, but she's been tested in a number of institutions, professionally by psychiatrists and psychologists, and she suffers from what is known as dissociative identity disorder, or DID. It used to be known as multiple personality disorder. Now it is known as dissociative identity disorder. This disorder is created as a result of severe repeated trauma, and particularly before age 5. Kelly's trauma base was, of course, sexual trauma, psychological trauma, and physical trauma, and tortures continually all through her childhood. Is suffering from dissociative identity disorder. Part of the symptoms of this disorder are her inability to remember from moment to moment. And in order for her to appear normal, she mirrors anyone that she is in contact with. So they feel very comfortable with her.
So I said to her, for example, I like Discovery Channel.
Yes.
Is that right? And then she said, yes, it's the only thing I'm watching.
Yes, exactly.
You see, there was some particular moment in time. Now I'm recalling that.
Exactly.
Is it called mirror?
It's called mirroring. She will mirror your actions, the way you hold your hands, the way you talk. Eventually, she'll even begin to pick up your accent. The disorder itself is most unfortunate, most uncomfortable for the person that suffers from it. But the worst part is it develops into suicidal and homicidal behavior. They become, these people that suffer from DID, in many instances, but not all, become very agitated very easily for things that we don't even know that could agitate them. A word or a place or a suggestion or a thing can set them off, and they become extremely violent, either towards themselves or towards others. Kelly's situation is not without this horrific, terrible symptom. She suffered it many, many times, and that's the reason that she has been maintained in a mental institution for most of her life. She has spent from age 8, she is now 16, she has lived in a mental institution, or in an institutionalized setting.
What was her life before? She was NASA Institute?
The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, I hold directly responsible for her condition, because it was they that was developing the programs under some Nazi scientists that were brought to this country under Project Paperclip for the purposes of researching and developing multi-generational incest abuse. the actual purposes that NASA had for this child, I have no idea. There is no basis for my understanding of what they were going to do with her. There are many people that have suggested maybe they were going to use her as an assassin. Others have suggested that this was a normal thing as a result of the trauma. I can tell you that in many instances, these children develop this antisocial behavior in becoming what you and I would term suicidal or homicidal. In other words, they either want to inflict harm upon themselves or harm upon others for no apparent reason. This type of psychotic condition will not just go away with age. The child must be deprogrammed. The work that would be required of her would take possibly years of recovery and therapy, and a great deal of money. That's the reason that we've gone public with our book. That's the reason that we are in the process of making a documentary film as well as a motion picture, is to recover enough money to help this child through her recovery period. Now, for 8 years, she's been in a mental institution receiving what you and I would consider therapy to some degree. But it is not effective therapy, only because her victimization was so different than that of her mother's. Because her mother was not abused by NASA when she was born. Her mother wasn't abused except by her father and her father's associates. Her mother was abused sexually, of course, psychologically and physically, but she was not subjected to the high-tech tortures that Kelly was from the time that she was born all the way up until I rescued she and her mother when she was age 8.
This is from Transformation of America, featuring photos by Kelly. Cathy O'Brien, April 21, 2024. Not by the real Kelly. And I don't think any of this is written by Cathy O'Brien. If it is, then she's further gone than I thought. Change happens, is the only constant, and is ever evolving with or without our conscious awareness. Amidst life's kaleidoscope of change is a higher vibration path of synchronicity, purpose, harmony, and flow. This is that new age garbage that's being spouted right here. And if Cathy's aware of this, and if it's her writing this, then she's most probably never been what I thought she was. That's very hard for me to say. I don't believe it is Cathy writing this, personally. I'm just saying if. This is new age garbage. We reach this higher vibrational space when we internalize. It's misspelled, which that's a big red flag to me. Internalize is what it's supposed to be, but internal eyes doesn't even say internal, so there's a misspelling. Knowledge, that is our defense against mind control. No, if you internalize Jesus Christ, you have a defense against mind control. It's our defense against mind control and consciously choose to think free. It's the way humanity used to live. Life's changes become choices on how we perceive, participate, and positively affect outcomes when we realign with our nature. We're born in sin. We're born double-minded. Awake and aware, many have embraced the harsh reality that there are those among us who seek to manipulate our life's experience through imposed traumatic changes. Trauma is the basis of mind control. Fear, negativity, division, grief, and hatred are being deliberately used to keep us in a lower vibration and out of flow with life's higher purposes. But when you are a born-again child of God, nobody can lower your vibration. because the Holy Spirit is our vibration, and you can't touch that. No amount of torture or hatred or persecution can take that away from a true child of God. Nothing. Has nothing to do with this new age one conscious crap. You cannot be one with evil. This world will never be one. But the new age solution to that problem is the same final solution of the Nazis. That's going on in Israel right now. Because that's who's doing that. My daughter Kelly and I were exposed to this dark plan while deep in the Wash, BC swamp among global perpetrators under their MK Ultra mind control. Knowledge is our defense against mind control, which is an evolutionary truth that makes us free. You need Jesus, Cathy. Or whoever's writing this needs Jesus. Not Helena Blavatsky or Alice Bailey or Sasha Stone or any of these other Reawaken America fake Christians. Armed with truth, we're free to remember that we have all the power, while this dark energy force cabal only has as much power as we give them or let them steal. But the truth is we have no power at all without the living Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ in us. The infinite power of love and strength of the human spirit is where we win and they lose. And that's also crap right there. Because God is love. And anything that's not of love is not of God. They cannot possess or suppress our innate, inherent energy source. The most they can do is distract our conscious mind through imposed trauma in an effort to make us forget who we are and why we're here. Those of us who are onto that ploy are refusing to participate in their dark plan, with eyes to see, ears to hear, and soul to know reality. It's almost comical watching these self-anointed leaders frantically trying to maintain their illusions while under an increasingly brilliant spotlight of truth. But in truth, you are just as deceived, if not more so, than they are. Once we see through illusions to understand the magic trick, the spell is broken. Kelly and I have waited a lifetime for this evolutionary moment to arrive when awareness has reached critical mass. Together we share deep insight and understanding of what in the world is going on these days, while people slowly wake up to the dawn of a bright new day. That bright new day, the new age, the new world, the one world order, the one world church, where everybody's one consciousness. While the real Kelly is still suffering, but she has her mind because she gave her life to Jesus. Despite knowing deep in our souls that victory is and always was inevitable, our family motto, "It's not over till we win," has helped us navigate our intense journey and continues to do so to date. Keeping our vibration high in order to see a clear path forward above the storm does not preclude the fact that we also see many still succumb to current imposed traumas. All that is needed is one light of truth for them to rise above the drama and join the global New Age Great Awakening. Wisely knowing we can only help those who are willing to help themselves. Kelly chose to stay out of the public eye and turbulent current until humanity chose to join that higher path that comes with awareness. I call BS. Kelly has come out, and she's brave, and she has the evidence. Until humanity chose to join that higher path that comes with awareness. Clearly, collective consciousness is rising, as is Kelly's voice and presence, reconnecting in a disconnected world. And I'm telling you right now, this is damage control. Kelly's voice has come out, and she's getting some traction. But Cathy is being used as the queen of the survivors. And I'm just wondering how this is all going to pan out. And then if you go to this locals.com, my daughter Kelly wrote this brilliant article. So let's see what happens when we click on that. Well, it takes you to Locals, log in, sign up. Join Cathy O'Brien. She shares information about MK Ultra, mind control, and the message she used to heal, and all of that. My daughter wrote this brilliant article, but it's only for subscribers. Interested? Want to learn more about the community? Support now. What else you may like? I'm sorry that my little puppy's snoring. Skippy Dee Doo Dah. Must see and share everywhere. At The Real Roseanne. At Dom Luker. Nino Boxer. Ann Vanderstill. Mel K Show. Mary Flynn O'Neill. Petez Santinelli. That should show you a whole lot. Right here. Every one of these are dang grifters. Roseanne, Dom Luker, Nino Boxer, Ann Vanderstill, Mel K, Mary Flynn O'Neill. What do you think is going on here? And then Giving Voice to Children, the Reawaken Tour, Trump International, Vegas, 8/27/23.
Listen hard. I'm a survivor of CIA and MK mind control. I was used on the White House Pentagon level by the same perpetrators that steal elections and use biological and psychological.
And then once you do that, it pops up. We hope you enjoyed the preview of this video. If you would like to view the rest of this, please log in. And if you log in, you got to pay to see the rest of it. So that's what's there. It's always said it's easier to lift others by standing strong in higher vibration than it is to push from the depths of imposed turbulence. Our individual paths to reach this point, though vastly different, brought us to this higher realization and reclamation of our birthright knowledge that is our defense against mind control. Regardless of what torture we endured, what cruel and unjust hindrances we experienced, nothing could disrupt our purposeful recognition that a mother's love is the most powerful force in the universe. Our absolute bond could not and cannot be broken. A mother's love is big, but it's not the most powerful force in the universe. God is the most powerful force in the universe. And Cathy is not God. I'm not God, and you're not God. That's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Stop it. Armed with truth, neither Kelly nor I participated in mind control masked as a virus in 2020. It was easy to recognize components of mind control. We refused to comply. And big occult religion to save them when in fact it's up to each and every one of us to save ourselves from mind control. Whoever wrote this is certainly not a Christian, but is very deeply embedded into the New Age movement. I mean, it could be Laura Eisenhower. It could be Sasha Stone. It could be any number. It could be Mel K. Whoever's in charge of her her social media. I don't think it is Cathy. I've been fooled before. Without free thought, there is no free will, soul expression, moral compass, or ability to see through eyes of love. One of the most dark energies of all is this concept that she's talking about right here. That we can all do it without God. We can't. We have a God-shaped hole in our heart that only God can fill. It is within all to collect our consciousness and protect the sanity of free thought going forward. Anytime you hear that collective consciousness bull crap, you know what you're dealing with. No room for Jesus at all. I mean, anybody could take a picture. I don't see anything spectacular about that. But if you want to read any more of these New Age-filled comments, sign up and pay so much per month. So, I'm going to stop there. Shows a picture Cathy sitting on a beach somewhere. But if you want to see anything else, it's only for supporters. To read the rest of this article and access other paid content, you must be a supporter. That's a really, really big red flag. God bless. Merry Christmas.